Hello everybody, Happy Camper here, also known as Corey. Thank you all for joining me. If you haven't watched the other video yet, just know that it's storming really bad here. It was really bad at the end of the last video I had to do. But I'll try to talk over the storm. Hopefully the noise in the background, the rain and stuff doesn't bother you too much. Of course, I live in an RV, so, it's even louder than it would be if you were in just a regular house. So please, hopefully you can make it through this video with the extra noise in the background. And then on the last one, we also had my phone started going off with a tornado warning, so never know what's going to happen. But just a reminder, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. And this video is for entertainment purposes only. Throughout the video, I will say we a lot, but I'm not stating that I work for any of these companies or affiliated with Yieldmax or Zega, or even necessarily that I own any or all of these ETFs. So just want to put that out there. I don't know why I just tend to say we. But in this video, we will be going over the single stock named ETFs, their holdings, current holdings, and the trades that were made today. Ulti, though, I had to split that in its own video, so I did those two separate if you didn't already know that. But just a reminder, I'll probably do that through the rest of the week, the reminder. The next week, I'm not going to state it, but the reminder that this week we started just going through the closed trades on the trades tab. And then when we go to the holdings, then we'll address any that were added, had contracts added to it, or if there were new positions. So I did scroll down here real quick before looking, and I think we have about 3 of these that have some closed stuff. So we'll just start with AIYY. So we'll go over all of these. So we had, I can't even talk or think right now. Whew, okay, so today's March 14th. So tomorrow, these 4 short calls would have expired. Let's see. AIYY closed today at $29.10. These strike prices were $31.50, $32.50, $33, and $33.50. But if you look in column P, they closed them out because today they only had to pay, 2 cents for most of them, and then 3 cents for the 800. So in all, they paid $15,000. If they'd waited till tomorrow, they might have paid half of that, maybe $7,000, so, but it looks good. It's at least, it's not bad, right? 2 or 3 cents is close enough to 1 for me. Sorry, I don't know why that's not hidden. Alright, and then you see what they did, and I say closed, and I forget to look at stuff, but, some of these were rolled to next Friday. So I've seen it happen on a few of these, and this is one thing I had it on my list, or I thought I had it on my list to ask Jay, but I didn't. I had a lot of stuff on my list. I had my wish list of questions. But it looks like, and they've done this a few times, well, they'll only, on Friday, they'll purchase some, but not all of them. And it might not even necessarily be on a Friday. But you can see here that they had a total of 7,480, and it looks like they did half. I was looking to see if there was a way to see half. I don't know all these ins and outs of, oh, that's pretty cool. Let's see. My brain's too fried to do math. Of course it wouldn't do it. Oh, because it didn't have the sum. I bet it has sum in front of it. Sum return. 3750. And then if I undo, because I overwrote what was there, was Okay, sorry, 37.40. So yeah, so they went ahead and rolled half of the shares to next week, but it looks like we do have a new strike price of 29.50. And so then either tomorrow or Monday they'll probably purchase some more. I'm sorry. Let me get me a drink of this coffee. It's like my second cup tonight. And I feel like I'm already starting off bad on this video. But we're going to keep going. But overall, the trades for AIYY, they made they brought in $290,000. So if we go to AMD or AMDY, they closed out 2 short calls that were going to expire tomorrow with strike prices of 212.50 and 225. AMD closed today at 187.06. So for those contracts, they paid 2 cents, 2 and 4 cents. So they paid roughly $11,000 to close those out. And then it looks like half of them were rolled till next week. Because that's 2,500. Well, yeah, half of them. I can't count except for those 5 that are there. But yeah, half of them were rolled to next week. And then the total trades there ended up being plus, meaning they brought in $577,000. And of course, most of that was because of that premium right there, but some of that paid for closing out the other short calls. So let's see what else we have. Well, okay, we have no trades on any of those. And then so we have on FBY, there were some trades, but they were all opening positions, and that brought in $14,550. MSFO, they opened some new positions right there. It ended up costing them $39,000. Misty, they opened 10 and they ended up making $26,000. We'll go over them more in depth on the holding. I'm just looking for the closed ones. NVIDIA here, they opened a few lines there and they brought in $59,000. And OARC, so they had, I don't know why these are out of order. That's odd. They had 2 short calls that were going to expire tomorrow. Strike prices of 51.50 and 52. And ARC closed today at 48.74. And if we look, it closed them 2 cents and 2 cents to close these out, which is the majority, the 13,000. And I say closed, but they rolled. But the 13,000 something. And then for the 80, they paid 3 cents a share. So yeah, it cost them roughly $27,500 to close out the contracts for tomorrow. And then in this case, they rolled all of them till next week and not just a portion. Let's see. They do have different strike prices. So we're going to have one strike price of $50.50. So I don't know how many of you pay attention to the stock market or listen to it or hear about it or look at it during the day or when you get off work. But the whole stock market was down. Most of the stock market was down today. So if you watch the Ulti video, you'll see that almost every single stock was down except for like, I think 1 or 2 were 0%. And then we had one that was 2%. But everything else was in the red. So don't be, afraid when you look at some of these being red on here today. Let's see. So we get down to Zomo. They opened some positions, and it cost $15,400. And then, of course, Ulti's in a separate video. So now that we know where the closed positions, now we're just going to go over the holdings, where we'll address any new or adding to existing shares. I've made some changes. Yesterday was the first time you'd seen them if you watched yesterday's video, so just note that I changed, actually I just rearranged, but I changed the way these were, and I added in this column here so you can see as far as being below or above the synthetics or short calls, and then of course the color codes if it's good or bad. And then over on the right hand side you can see, I should have taken the filter off of this. Let's see, I think I can do that here. Yeah, no, you can see the, I hate it how it does that. Okay, there we go. And then over on the right hand side here, you can see if if we just added to something, or if it was new, along with the share count and the cost if you wanted to see the individual costs for that. That way, because before we'd go over every single line over there, and then we would come look at the holdings and somewhat go over some of the same things. So I'm just trying to consolidate here to make the video shorter. However, this video I'm not too concerned about because we're covering roughly 20 ETFs here. Ulti is my biggest issue, but... Alright, so we'll start here with AIYY, and let me know if y'all want to see, like, the price change between yesterday and today on this one. I know I started doing it on the Ulti one, but I don't have it on here. I did have it up on the roll-up, however, I never get a chance to go over it by the time, of course, I haven't even looked at this in weeks, so I really need to, re-look at this to see what's going on. But on this one, I did build in, where obviously I've moved some stuff and redone workbooks and stuff. I've shifted things around, and Google doesn't really adjust like it would if you had it in Excel. So a lot of these formulas now are messed up, so I had to fix things. But anyway, I had the close and the current and where we were as far as the difference dollar-wise and percentage-wise. And then I had the underlying stocks here, and I had basically the same thing. Yesterday closed, current, and the diff. The front, I didn't go over that, but that's supposed to be like the NAV and current price and the difference. I wouldn't even really pay attention to this max strike price thing. Honestly, I use that, which I haven't done in a while because I don't have time, but I would look here to see which stocks were maxed out on their strike prices. And then of course net assets and short call shares outstanding, and then here is where I had all the short call values and synthetic values and total options, and then this was trades. But I've been meaning to go over this, but I always wait till the end of the video to go over it, and then by the time we get to the end of the video, I don't even want to go over it. But yeah, let me know if y'all want something like this. I know I've showed it before. Of course, I've changed it a little bit, and then I haven't really been saving it either. But I don't know if y'all want to see yesterday's holdings, if you want to see something like this or what. Just let me know. We're going to the wrong tab. Okay, so AIYY closed at $15.15. AI closed at $29.10. So we have a short call here, and this one will not expire until next Friday, and it's $29.50, and we close at $29.10, so we are 40 cents below that one, or 1%. And our synthetics, unfortunately, I mean, they don't expire for another month, but we're $35, so we're $6 below, or 20% below the straight price of our synthetics. And I will say up front, all of our option dates for the synthetics are like April to May, with the exception of one, and I think it's Misty because it was brand new when it came on, and I think it's March 28th. But so what I'm getting at is most of these are still a month or two out before they actually expire. So don't worry too much. I'm just gonna see if we can. I did this yesterday beforehand and try to hide a bunch of stuff just as long as we know it's on the right. I don't think we need all that there. On the left, I don't even know my right from my left now. But let's see. If we go over, and you can see that new, this one, that's what threw me off. I really like to have that stuff on the left-hand side. But our short call with the expiration of March 22nd was new as of today, and we got a premium of $306,000. But anyway, sorry. I'm going to get back in a groove. I just, I don't know. Give me some more coffee. Okay, AMDY closed at $20.91. Like, y'all, a lot of stuff went down today. I bought a lot of stuff. It's been a while since we've had a good red day, and yeah, next thing I know, I was just buying up stuff. I hadn't even analyzed anything recently or really even done anything with my stuff because I've been so busy with all these spreadsheets and getting stuff out, and so today I just started buying. But anyway, AMDY closed at $20.91, and AMD, wow, it ended up closing at $187. I was thinking it was up around $195 before. It might have been yesterday. But anyway, it looks like, yep, we have a new short call that will expire next Friday. And the strike price is 200, and funny enough, our synthetics also 200. And just a reminder in case you're new or not sure about these. For the synthetic, you want to be above the strike price, and for the short call, you want to be below the strike price. So in this case, it's all 200. So we just really want it to close at 200. Of course, our synthetic doesn't, it doesn't expire for a couple of months. So, but that'll happen every now and then. But you can see we brought in a premium of $588,000 for that one. We're going to move on to AMZ. AMZ closed at $22.96. Amazon closed at $178.75. And this looks like we still have a short call here that expires tomorrow. We have two strike prices of $177.50, and we're over that by $1.25. And then we have $180, and we're below that one by $1.25. Interesting. Either that, I'm not doing math good right now. Let's see where we're at. Nope, we had no trades. So tomorrow we will have a trade because they have to close these two short calls out, and they're not allowed to hold the underlying stock, so they'll always pay to close these out versus just letting them expire. Unlike the Ulti, they can just let them expire because they can hold the underlying stock. We move on to Apple. Apple closed at $16.97. Apple closed at $173. We have two short calls with a strike price of $172.50. So we are 50 cents above that one. And then we have a short call of $175, and we're $2 from that. And both of these expire tomorrow. And we had no trades there. So we'll move on to Coney. Coney closed at $25.40, so it dropped a few dollars today. Coin itself closed at $233.67. There's one short call that will expire tomorrow with a strike price of $295. So the stock price is 26% below the strike price. And there were no trades. So moving on to Dizzo. It closed at $21.35. Disney closed at $112.06. We have three short calls that will expire tomorrow. So there'll be trades to close that out tomorrow. We have strike prices of $113, $114, and $115. And as you can see, we are 1, 2, and 3% respectively below those strike prices. And we had no trades. We go on to FBY. It closed at $22.74. Meta closed at $491.83. We have three short calls. Okay, so we can see over here on the right, they ended up opening a new position with an expiration date of next Friday for 15 contracts. And then, of course, they added to the synthetics. But then we still have two short calls that will expire tomorrow. Strike prices are $5.10 and $5.20, so we're 4 and 6% below those. in here, this one may look looks a little different than some of the others because it does have two synthetics with different strike prices of $5.05 and $5.15. If we go down to Gooey closed at $16.74. Alphabet closed at $143.10. It does have a short call expiring tomorrow with a strike price of $141. The stock price is $2.10 above the strike price. Right now it's showing, if to close that out, it's $475,000. Go to JPMO. JPMO closed at $20.97. JPM closed at $187.97. There are two short calls that expire tomorrow with the strike prices of $190 and $192.50, and the stock price is 1% and 2% under those strikes. All right, no trades. So then we have Murney, which closed at $19.96. Moderna closed at $103.46. And okay, so I think yesterday they had rolled this short call to next week, and it has a strike price of $115, and we are 11% below that. If we go on to MSFO, it closed at $22.46. Microsoft closed at $425.22. If we look over here to the right, they opened up a new short call with the expiration date of next Friday for a total of 40 contracts, and then also added to the synthetics. We also have two short calls that will expire tomorrow, $417.50 and $420, and we are above both of those. So let's look. If right now it's showing, I knew how to do that, $803,000 right now is what it's showing to close those out. So let's say almost $9 a share and $6 and something a share. We'll see how tomorrow goes. If we go on down to Misty, we have lots of colors going on here. I bet there's people out there that really hate all these colors everywhere. I do apologize. Let me zoom in, keep one fund on the page. So we have Misty at $39.55, and I saw a screenshot in the Discord of somebody showing that they had sold shares at $40. I didn't even know it got that high. I'm so busy, I don't even know what's going on this week. But yes, $40. Anyway, so we have a MicroStrategy that closed at $1,676.85. I saw that one tanking today. I look at the ones and try to buy up the ones that are down the least when I do buy. All right, let's look. So, looks like we have okay. So we have a new synthetic. So this is the one I said we have synthetic for March 28th because of when it came online. But it looks like as of today, that's interesting if you look at the strike prices. But they opened up a new synthetic position with a strike price of $1,700. There's 10 contracts. They ended up bringing in like $15,000 to open that, and then they added 10 shares to a call that expires tomorrow. Okay, I got to zoom out just to make sure I'm seeing these. So we added there, and this one expires tomorrow. So we have 3 short calls here that will expire tomorrow. As you can see, we are over one of those by $50. So we need that to come down some. And then we have the 1700, we're below that one, $25 or 1%. And then we have the 1900, and we're below that one by 13%. And then our synthetics here for March, those will expire in a couple of weeks. But those are it's a big juicy paycheck, at least as of right now, because the strike price was $950 and it's up. We're almost double that. This is so freaking crazy, some of these stocks. But if you look here, they would get about 5.4 or 11.5 million dollars to close that out, because they are 43% above that strike price. But anyway, I'm dwelling here. Let's move on. So Netflix closed at $18.37. Netflix closed at $613.01. We have a short call that expires tomorrow with strike prices $630. So we are 3% below that. And we did not have any trades there. We move on to NVIDIA. It closed at $27.81. NVIDIA closed at $879.44. And if we look over here, they had 15 contracts today, so they opened up a short call expiring next Friday for $1,000 or a $1,020 strike, and we are under that strike price by 16%. So $879 and $1,020. So then we have 4 short calls that expire tomorrow, and luckily we are under all of them. We had a strike of $940, $985, $990, $1,010, $1,020. So we were set anywhere between 7 and 16% below the short calls. So those are looking good for tomorrow. We will move on to OARC, which closed at $12.70. ARC closed at $48.74. And we have a new short call here with a strike price of $50.50. And we are 4% below that. And you can see that ended up bringing in $739,000 for that. We'll move on to PayPay with the price of $18.25. PayPal closed at $63. We have 3 short calls that expire tomorrow. The strike price is $61 and $62. Of course, we're over those as of now. And then we have the strike price of $64, and we're $1 from that. We're going down to SQY, closed at $23.86. Block closed at $81.24. And then this is wrong, so our stuff up here is going to be... I don't know how I missed this because I thought I changed this. Synthetic. Boom. Copy. So that's 80. So that makes this one. And then that makes our synthetic value is this plus this. And then our short call value. Sorry, my stuff is run on formulas. When it gets, though, to some of these dates being a synthetic and a short call, it doesn't know which one to mark it as. So what was I doing? The short call. That plus that. Well, I guess I didn't do the plus. Those are the short calls, right? Yep. Alright, so that's better. So the synthetic closes tomorrow. The strike price is 80, so it looks good because we're at 81. And then our short calls expire tomorrow. We have strike prices of 81 and 82, and that actually looks good. I know it's 24 cents above one of them, but I mean, it's not bad. You know, it could be worse. Looks like there were no trades on those, so that should look good tomorrow. We'll see. Tesla closed at $14.85. It just makes you want to throw something. I think I ended up buying some, and I don't even know why I'm buying it. I don't need any more Tesla or EV or car exposure in my portfolio. And I'm like Rod was. I'm just top heavy in it because it was one of the first ones, and it kept going down, and it was like, oh, I'm gonna buy the dip, and then the dip never stops. And it's not Yieldmax's fault. I'm just complaining about Tesla itself. But anyway, so 1485 Tesla 162.50. I think I actually got some Tesla today, around 160, 161. We have lots of colors over here. So we have two different synthetics. It shows we didn't have any trades. But we'll look at the short calls here. We have two that expire tomorrow. And we are 13% and 15% below those two. So then we have a short call that expires next week with a strike price of 172.50. And so I feel like I missed something. Like, I'm missing something because yesterday we didn't close out of all of our synthetic positions. Unless I'm missing a day, which is very possible. Yeah, there's something missing here. Because where's the formula? Hold on. Oh shit, what did I just do? Undo. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. Okay, so I don't know why I was just saying reference there. Alright, what tab am I on? Okay, so let me go to the holdings, the trades tab. And crap, it's after midnight. So at midnight, the holdings come down from the website. And I didn't capture. So there were trades. I know that Rod put a copy of them in the Discord, though, earlier. I'm just not gonna... I don't want to sit here and have to bore you with typing these in here. But what probably happened is there was a formula there and it couldn't expand, like it needed more lines, and so then it can't go because it's going to say it's trying to overwrite data, and I would have had to have inserted lines in there. So if we just go down here, I know I've been doing a lot of worksheet stuff lately, but just make sure that the formula, so the formula's there. The problem is it needed more lines. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and insert me a couple of lines there. Hopefully it doesn't mess up any formulas. But that sucks. That's okay though. I know I'm not going to have it for this video, but I can hand type it in there and I'll have it in there for the roll-ups. But what it is they had synthetics that they closed out, which is going to cost a lot of money. A lot of money, because you remember we've been talking about it, and I figured it was going to end up having a cost about a couple $100 million. Yeah, so I'm looking here. There were lots of trades, so they closed out the 880. So if we look at yesterday's holding, so if we compare the two, if you're looking here, so the only thing that expires tomorrow on here is these two short calls. And if we look at yesterday, we had the two short calls. But then we had this one synthetic with the 880 contracts left because they didn't close them all the way out. And then we had the other synthetic with the 220. Now I'm just looking here. The thing is, like the screenshot, I'd have to throw the calculations in here because it does not do the calculations for you. So like on my sheet, I have a formula in here that will, once I fill all this out, it calculates all the cost for me. I'll get that in there. I'm sorry about that. I don't know how I didn't catch that earlier. And I didn't say this at the beginning, but I don't think I said it on this video, but I had a call with Jay today, and that was actually one of the questions and one of the topics that we talked about. But I figure I'll do a video. I'll try to do a video this weekend and go over all the notes from our phone call and questions and stuff. So I don't have to make this video even longer. But yeah, so let me do this because I know that this is wrong and it'll remind me to come back and fix it. But we still have two short calls that expire tomorrow, 183.33 and 187.50, and we are 13 and 15% below those strike prices. And then of course we have the short call that expires next week at 172.50. And let's move on. We have Zomo 1785 and Exxon 111.47. These things, I think the oil and gas stocks or whatever were soaring today while everything else was tanking. If you scroll over a little bit here, you can see that we have a new short call position with the expiration of next Friday at $113. And we are 1% below that, like $1.50. And then we have the short call that's going to expire tomorrow, which we're over because it's 110, so we're over that one by $1.50. If we move on, we have, it looks weird because I have columns hidden, so sorry about that, but YMAG ended up, so these were down, but of course we had ex-dividend day also, but YMAG was at 19.94, and by the way, in our conversation we talked a little bit about the YMAG and YMAX and the distribution dates, so I'll put out information on that as well. We'll move on because there's no trades on either one of these. There's rarely trades showing up there, which then makes me question. I feel like I need to go back and look to see if the shares are changing because I've thought about it, but I haven't done it because it doesn't make sense that there's no trades. Like there's really nobody buying into these or anything, Yeah. So, yeah. Well, you can tell here that there's clearly more trades. Or not more trades. But we had 2.26 million shares. I'm wondering if I added. Either way, it's not the same number. And that's YMAG and YMAX, and they got the name there. So, yeah, so that's interesting. I was wondering because I could have sworn at the beginning, and I don't know if it was before I started doing these or what, that there were trades. But then when I'd go back, I couldn't find where there were trades on these. So I need to I'll reach out to Jay and ask him about the files for those, and then I'll double check because Ulti, I've got Ulti down here, but yeah. So here we go again. Let's make us another big red spot. And that's just so I know to come back to this. All right. And then if we go to Yieldmax down here, we closed at $20.90. I also had worked on yesterday the workbook with the estimate, updating some things, removing the fees, and then trying to go back to February to show what it actually looked like and if they overpaid or underpaid based on the ex-dividend date and the outstanding shares, and if they lost money or whatever, and then look at compared to this month so we could walk it forward. But I got to finish that, so I have that out there as well. But yeah, I have lots of things, so I need to make a to-do list and do some prioritization this weekend. Sleep is going to be number one of them, though. If we look here, because this is just one of those that I always want to look at, and then I never do. So it looks like our biggest loser today was not Tesla, it was Coney, believe it or not. And then, of course, this data over here is well, that'll be fine once I fix this, because it's coming from the wrong cell now since I shifted columns. So Coney, Tesla, and AMDY and Yieldmax were all negative 4% or more. And I'm curious of the underlying. Let's say those are percentages. So if we do that, that's interesting. I feel like I need to look at that formula, because yeah, something's not right here. Well, let's say. Well, let me just look at them later. And then, yeah, this is all just a roll up of the values on the holdings there. And then I don't know. Oh, well, this data's not here because the data's already gone because it, was gone at midnight. So let's see. Yeah, it was still here. So this is a summary of all of the trades, if you can see it on your phone. But if I go right there, you can see this short call. Apparently I need to fix that header. When I did the replacing the weeklies with the short calls, for some reason we had double calls on some of them. Oh, probably because it said weekly call, and then I replaced weekly with short call. That's probably why. But yeah, and then, which then reminds me, is the weekly roundup video of everything and where we stand. So anyway, I'm not going to drag this out anymore. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and yeah, I think at this point I'm just talking. But we briefly looked at the roll-up thing that I've made a month ago. We just don't ever really have a lot of time to go over it. But I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good day. Bye.